Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Dishonored 2, Blind. Let's wrap up this mission and go forward. You've awakened with a strange feeling. Another strange visit. I have no gear. Is this a dream? Another one of those where I'm in the void?
The void, but somehow different this time.
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago. I made you flee your precious tower and turned your father into cold stone. How difficult for you. But when I was young, sweet Jessamine and I were close as sisters, sharing a secret. Emperor Kaldwin had another daughter, born in shame to a kitchen maid.
Am I dreaming? If not, how is Delilah doing this?
I told you when you're older, perhaps next year.
You said that last year. Jessamine is younger than me, and she's a court every day.
This is, well, it's complicated. We'll understand someday.
What did I do? I'll be good. I swear.
Next year, I promise.
Jessamine and I played games in the tower, but at night I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy would visit and tell me if I was good. Next year I'd be old enough to come to court to be a princess. Then one day, pretty Jessamine broke something worth a fortune, and the spy master caught us. She claimed I did it, and he whipped me in the garden house until I bled. My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep.
I didn't bring it.
Would you like to tell me who did?
We were just playing.
Young Lady Jessamine, what is your name?
It was her. Delilah's lie. She broke it.
I'm not sure if I believe that, because you know, just because she shows me a supposed memory of that in the void, which is not a real place, and just because she says so doesn't mean it's true.
Mother and I saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick on an assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for weeks after a fat guard broke her jaw. They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing bed sheets in a brothel, I painted on the side, until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word for it. I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn.
My mother's sick. She needs help.
Your mother kicked off while you were out begging. She's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No!
Your sentence is served that you'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
It's hard to know whether my dear old aunt is telling the truth or not.
Meet with Megan Foster and Anton Sokolov to discuss the next steps in your efforts to take down Delilah and the Duke of Serkonos.
When I was young, the Loyalist conspiracy that kidnapped me also took Anton Sokolov. They brought him to the pub where I was being held and locked him in a cage meant for dogs. And you know what? Sokolov laughed at them. He taught me lessons and told me funny stories. He seemed immortal. His mind shaped our age. That's changed. The old man I rescued doesn't talk much. He eats what we give him, groans in his sleep, coughs out blood. I thought he'd tell me the secret to defeating Delilah and saving the Empire. But I'm not even sure he knows where he is. Wasn't a dream, was it?
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
No. She's the one who orchestrated the coup.
Our decisions have weight. I feel my time drawing to an end soon.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm with Jessamine on that one, because like even if what Delilah says is true, then of course Jessamine was a bit of a cruel brat to have done that, but that is hardly a justification. Like, Jessamine is dead, I had nothing to do with it, and Delilah has killed dozens, possibly hundreds of people because Jessamine was once upon a day in their childhood cruel to her. Like, this doesn't... it doesn't logically follow. Okay. The Royal Conservatory. Sokolov is safe. I killed Kirin Jindosh for abducting Sokolov, for working with Delilah and the Duke Abel, for the part his clockworks played in the coup that took my throne, for the clockwork army the man was building. He may have been smart, but he wasn't invulnerable, not like Delilah. I imagine he was jealous of Sokolov, and for good reason, I suppose. Who cured the rat plague? Who changed the world with machines fueled by whale oil, once Esmond Roseborough discovered the liquid power trapped there, and his paintings? Genius isn't a word I use often, but Sokolov deserves it. Speaking of the old goat, it's good to see him again, though he looks worse than I expected, tired, and smaller than I remember. I hope that great mind of his is still working. Delilah in the Void. I dreamed of Delilah Cooperspoon. No, this time it was more than a dream. I was in the void. Somehow Delilah brought me there. I don't know if she was showing me the true past or a fabrication. She spoke of my grandfather, Emperor Euron Jacob Kaldwin. History says he was a man of honor. He served his people. But Delilah showed me all his promises unfulfilled, and those easy lies. And she showed me my mother, Jessamine, as I never imagined her, spoiled and petty, entitled. And finally a great injustice, Delilah's mother dying in a debtor's prison. I have so many questions, but how do I sort the truth from the lies? What powers can I afford? To be honest, not so many. Might as well take this. Although, do I want to... Like, to be honest, I find Corvo's powers, especially the slow time one, to be much more fun than Domino, for example. Yeah, I don't want slow fall. Okay, I'll keep the runes for now.
For a man of his age, Sokolov's making better progress than I would have expected.
Good to see you're still with us. Thank you for helping, Anton.
Sokolov's not the only one making a rapid recovery. I'll be good enough to leave soon. There's a lot to do. Of course, unless the Duke falls, he'll undo my best efforts here.
Then we'll have to make sure Duke Luca Abel doesn't overstay his welcome.
Karnaka's key leaders are flawed, for certain. After all this is settled with the Duke, and the time of the coup has passed, whichever ones are left standing could change things here. Consider that, as you come face to face with the Duke's remaining associates.
I appreciate your thoughts on the matter, Alexandria.
A letter from Lucia Pastor. I couldn't be happier about the news you gave me. The people here in the Dust District desperately need someone like you. I understand that you cannot see patients in Addermire anymore, and that it's too dangerous to go back to your apartment. I'll arrange something. We'll find you a safe place to hide, and give free consultations as you suggested. I'll send word about it via the Miners Family Committee and some friends I've made at the Silver Spike newspaper. Welcome back to the city.
I wish there was something I could remember to help in your efforts. Megan is worried that someone will see us coming and going. I might depart soon. Anton and I are both in your debt.
Jindosh wanted me to help him with a rather complicated problem. It would have enabled him to make his clockwork soldiers at a fraction of the cost. Clever man.
Not clever enough. What's wrong with people like that?
A restless mind and an empty heart, perhaps. Jindosh would have snuffed me out as soon as he got bored. I appreciate what Emily did for me, freeing me from that place.
I searched for you, Anton. I would have found you.
I knew you'd try, Megan. They kept me going after they gave me to Jindosh.
Either way, you're back now. I'm glad. The Empress has risen. A peaceful sleep, I hope. Nothing like the pillows at Dunwall Tower, made of goose feathers.
Sit down when you want to talk.
Anton, when I brought you back, you could barely speak. But it's been 3 days.
They tortured him. His body is covered with bruises.
Delilah has the throne, and my father is missing. This is Anton Sokolov, the greatest mind in the Empire.
No, Emily. Megan is right. I can make electricity move from one side of the room to the other, but Delilah is beyond my understanding. When I came to Sarkonos, I meant to leave everything behind. But when the assassination started, I couldn't ignore it. By the time Megan and I connected the murders to the Duke, it was too late. The Crown Killer came for me. It kept me alive from my knowledge that I saw things. Jindosh often had a visitor, Brianna Ashworth.
She's the curator of the Royal Conservatory.
Yes, Ashworth is dangerous, as obsessed with the occult as Delilah. Apparently, she's working on a device called the Oraculum.
There's more to her than either of you know.
If Ashworth is one of Delilah's lieutenants, I need to eliminate her. Who knows what this device is capable of, or what she's up to.
Meet me at the skiff when you want to set out for the Royal Conservatory. Ashworth has an interest in the occult. That's a snotty way to put it. In another life, you might be facing me along with her. Head to the skiff when you're ready, Empress. Delilah's cult must be thrilled she's got the throne, but she wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire.
There's a spark in your eyes. Something other than hate, which surprises me given all that's happened. Maybe I should begin a series of bloodfly-related sketches. Infested corpses and the like. I've never paid a visit to the Royal Conservatory, but allegedly it has a number of unique pieces. The familiar creaks and groans of the dreadful whale. I lie awake listening, just to remind myself I'm safe again.
Anton Sokolov, painter, inventor, and philanderer, famous throughout the Isles, loyal only to himself. Sokolov wonders now if it was all worth it. Once put forth, some ideas take on a life of their own. The years have softened him. He seeks to make up for the wrongs from his past. He experimented on people during the plague years. Unwilling subjects who suffered needlessly at his hands. There is grief, but his time at the Hound Pit's pub as a prisoner stays with him. He was strangely happy. There is guilt within him for the things he did. But curing the rat plague saved so many. Not so long ago, the nobles vied for his attention, sent him gifts and flattery. Whose invitation would he accept? Whose portrait would he next paint? His past torments him. Can he ever atone for the pain he's caused? He's full of regrets, this old man. Sokolov, the once great alchemist. Some nights, he dreams of a young woman he once painted, decades ago. Her face, the most beautiful thing he'd ever beheld. She died before the painting was complete, and he burned it to ash. From Esmond Roseborough, Sokolov learned the power hidden inside whale oil. He harnessed it for devices that kill, and Roseborough took his own life. Some nights he wakes for the toilet, thinking he's at his old apartment on Caldwell's Bridge. He's confused by the layout of the dreadful whale. He retreated from Dunwall, tired of the petty squabbles of the elite. They still seek him out for portraits, new elixirs, or bawdy stories. Some just to see the great Sokolov, now stooped and humbled. It's all still there, in his mind. Every formula, every equation, harder and harder to recall. In his dreams, he sees the names and faces of every subject he experimented on in the name of progress. They would flock to his lectures. When all the seats were full, they would line the hallways, straining to hear. Hypatia, Jindosh, all the great minds of today owe him a debt. When Jindosh held him, Sokolov believed he would die, and that changed him. He is so tired. He is remembering the great voyage he took by sea. So many men lost, reaching Pandyssia, the burning wastes. Anton, how great you were. Rest now, my friend. I've already told you his secrets.
Okay, it actually, what I've heard, raised my respect for Sokolov. I respect him for the fact that he apparently feels guilty about the people he experimented on, and he also still remembers their names, which is kind of impressive given it must have been at least dozens of people. My journey to the Pandician continent. At dawn, I set out with a group that foraged east and included 2 other natural philosophers and 4 crewmen. We used blades to clear the vegetation that grew thickly here and slowly made our way away from the shore up a steep incline. Our purpose was to gather samples of the native plants for our research journals. I found myself pressing leaves and stems between the pages and taking copious notes on several species of flora I surmised no human has ever set eyes on previously, when suddenly young Mr. Gravett from the academy began hopping about and screaming wildly. Chance had bade him pick up an unfortunate place to step. Aggressive ant-like creatures swarmed him from below. So many in number were his tiny attackers that we quickly lost sight of him under their onslaught. We managed to put Gravett from the insects, acquiring several painful welts when they had come to aid. Mr. Gravett was, however, bitten, or stung, as I would eventually discover, so many times that he was barely recognizable, swollen unto deformity, every inch of his person. Moaning like a sick bull, he expired before we could carry him back to the beach. Luckily, some of the creatures still clung to him, providing me with precious samples. 2 dead on the first day on the continent, but the new world was not sated and would have 1 more. None other than the captain himself. His group had found a cluster of small rodents, much like rabbits or prayer moles. The lure of fresh meat proved too much of a temptation for our good captain, who had dined on scant fish and the same rations as the crew all those dreary months. He was able to grab one of the creatures with his bare hands, but the docile beasts were not so tame after all. Having allowed the captain to pick it up, the creature became enraged and delivered several stings from a gland hidden in its tail. The captain complained of heat and itching where the sting has penetrated, but insisted they press on. He died of asphyxiation within a quarter of an hour. It was suddenly obvious to me that this rate of attrition, we would not only fail to sufficiently research the continent, but might soon lack enough crew to make the return voyage. Something had to be done to save the venture, and so I immediately declared myself captain. On my order, the remaining crew kept the relative safety of the beach for the duration of the week, though I sent 2 young academy students armed with nets and cages to fetch alive a sample of the prayer mole that had so swiftly killed the captain. At first, ours was a research expedition. First and foremost, ours was a research expedition.
I have trouble remembering my mother's face sometimes, but there might be some resemblance.
Painted from memory. While trying to learn more about what the Duke of Sarkonos was up to, I began hearing a name I hadn't heard in almost 2 decades. Delilah Copperspoon. We painted together for a time, but her obsession with the occult and the Kaldwin family took her out of my circles.
I saw some of her paintings. Beautiful, but somehow sinister.
You knew Delilah? All this time traveling with you and you never mentioned that?
My past is none of your business. You don't own everything, Empress.
Another life, another life. Megan came to Karnaca to reinvent herself. Maybe I did as well, but the Duke of Sarkonos had other ideas.
Started painting again. My thoughts dart here and there. I am at a whim of my aging brain. I smell an orange and it triggers a memory. All at once I am a boy back in school, suffering under the cruelty of Professor Oliphant, her horrible wigs and the smell of old wool. The wool reminds me of my suits. I used to have them custom made. The suits remind me of that I was once a man of position. And then I'm thinking of my own cruelties, terrible deeds performed in the name of science, progress or profit, and then I'm flooded with regrets and guilt. Then just as suddenly I am hungry, or thinking about my knees or a nap. And if I could quiet my mind and apply myself to a task, say painting like today, it is of little use. I find it odd that at a time when I thought I might enjoy some rest and expand on my paintings, that my eyes are not as sharp as they need be, and my hands quiver unexpectedly. The smell of the paints assaults my nose and muddles my thoughts. Did they always smell so? Still, I have begun work on canvas. I have no name for it yet.
It'll be good to see the Royal Conservatory, even if it's closed to the public. One of the more elaborate structures in Karnaca, closed to the public. More of the Duke's questionable rulership.
Dear patrons, due to an alarming increase in the mite population, and with the full knowledge and approval of the Duke Abel himself, the Royal Conservatory will remain closed for the foreseeable future. Our apologies. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Megan Foster's notebook. Have I read that? I've seen mean storm clouds gather, only to disperse in an hour's time. I've seen monstrous waves in the distance, towering like high hills, that were only a ripple by the time they reached the boat. Things aren't right, they never have been, but at least everything held at the center for a long while. Now I worry all the time, for me, for Anton, for everything. I should quit, disappear again. No one else would. Anyone else would, I think. Self-preservation is only natural. I could take my boat and go anywhere, be anybody, be nobody. Nobody again. I'd like that. I've had many different lives. Could I start a new one, perhaps? How many more do I have left? I am so tired. I wish I could sleep and wake up as someone else. Brianna Ashworth is my next target. Brianna Ashworth, I only know her by reputation. Born to the Dunwall aristocracy, she's a sculptor and the curator of the Royal Conservatory in Karnaca, one of Delilah's lieutenants and maybe her closest confidant. They share a taste for the occult. While being held, Sokolov overheard conversations about a strange device being constructed. The Oraculum, something more convoluted than clockwork killing machines, but every bit as dangerous, no doubt. I think the after-hour visit to the conservatory will give me the answers I need.
We'll take the skiff. I don't want to bring the dreadful whale any closer than we have to. There is a small dock in Syria Gardens, close to the conservatory. That's as far as I can take you. Ready to go?
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
While held captive, Anton Sokolov learned the identity of one of Delilah's chief allies, Brianna Ashworth, an architect of the coup that took the throne in Dunwall. Ashworth is powerful and full of secrets. She is building a mysterious device for Delilah. Brianna Ashworth must be eliminated.
There will be a Grand Guard presence outside the Royal Conservatory. Inside, be prepared for anything. Ashworth runs with an eclectic crowd. They'll be the real danger.
Someday I'd like to know more about how you met Ashworth.
I know you would. Trust me. Ashworth is important to Delilah. Which brings up something else. You might be able to exploit the Abbey of the Everyman in removing Ashworth from play. Turns out the Vice Overseer in Karnaca has been watching Ashworth from a hidden outpost near the Royal Conservatory. Check it out first if you want more options. Remember, if she's still working with Delilah, Ashworth is a grave threat.
Thanks, Megan. See you soon.
Keep your head down and you might avoid a bloodbath. If you can find Byrne's spying setup, he's probably collected some useful notes about whatever Ashworth is up to. I'll meet you back here when it's done. Delilah's coven crossed paths with my old gang 15 years back. It was a bad time.
Wait a second. Is she, what's her name, Billy Lurk? Dodd's second in command in the Whalers? Like, I haven't even thought about it before, but now, you know, there are those mentions of her changing identities. There are mentions of her fleeing from her own life, previous life that she led, and now she mentions that she has been part of a gang. Billy Lurk did look very much like her, like at least in her general features. She had short hair, she was black, and all that. So, if she is Billy Lurk, then it's a bit embarrassing that it took me so long to consider that, because apart from a different name, she isn't really, well, she's lacking an arm and an eye, which I don't think Billy Lurk had those back in Dishonored 1, but still.
Brianna Ashworth is a true believer. She'll never turn away from Delilah.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff again. Are those people hostile? Crown Killer is watching. Well, actually, she isn't. Are you hostile? I guess... just to be safe.
2 coins for that cat lap? Well, no more, thank you.
What do
Place
you
is a
want?
dump anyway.
Step back. Get out of my face. If you're looking for trouble, you're gonna find it. You've been warned.
I mean,
I think I will take them down, just for the peace of mind, if not for any other reason.
Don't pick any fights you can't
okay,
finish.
got enough to worry about. Now they say there's someone on the prowl. Interesting getup you have there, covering your face. Look at this place. Might be time to head back to Potterstead.
And what's next?
When she told him the child was his, he took care of it. Took care of them
I'd like to
both.
see her buy the drinks. Just
Paid
one
someone
time.
to do it.
Is that too much to ask?
I'm scared. There aren't enough coins in
He's
the
been
world.
watching for weeks now. He knows their routine and where they keep the spare key.
Is that a guard? Yes. You know what? Let's just do this. Because I'm not sure if the others would have freaked out about me choking the guard. So it's safest if I just do this. Okay, there's a black market shop this way, and I guess it sells the rune. Like, I could probably steal it because there existed a way to break in the previous maps, but to be honest, I have so much gold with not so much to spend it on, and I might as well... What?
Another fish in the trap!
Let's go!
Oh, she won't go.
Time to die, little girl!
This is bad.
Oh, I can't see shit.
Welcome.
Have you heard?
I'm told they robbed one of our shops.
Wait, what was that? Did they use magic against me?
Push out into the harsh world. You are alone, but for a few allies. Those around you cannot see me. I am here and not here when you call to me.
Then climbed up to check the wind. All good.
Yesterday, the wind kicked up so hard I thought the windmill was gonna fall apart. The wall of light was flickering and sparking like crazy.
I've seen that too. But whale oil's expensive now, and the tanks run dry. The wind's unpredictable. It's still better than a bunch of howlers running through the checkpoint and knifing us to death.
Yeah, I see your point. What the?
No, he's running!
This won't take long. Get away! Kneel down! See what's better.
Come back here!
Bad move. Hold still.
Okay, are they all still alive?
What? This time I'll get you.
Because if they are still alive, I can take this as a resolution. But I'm pretty worried that one of them has shot the other. Okay, they actually all still live. So I'll take this. Okay, there's a wall of light. Is that just a civilian? Or is it someone important? I think it's just a civilian. I'll knock her out, just to be sure. The mine collapses. Numerous casualties. A representative from the Miner Family Committee reports that another silver mine has partially collapsed, leaving 8 miners injured and killing 12. The committee maintains that the Duke's unrealistic production goals were the true culprit, citing the overlong shifts that have been in practice since the mine owner, Aramis Stilton, disappeared. The mines are now managed directly by the Grand Palace until such a time as Stilton returns, or until a new director can be found. However, the Grand Palace's official statement blamed the collapse on human error and threatened to arrest anyone found guilty of demoralizing the people of Karnaca. We at Karnaca Gazette certainly support the effort to maintain Serkonos' unity. Our thoughts go out to the families of those injured or killed. Squad orders. The area surrounding the Royal Conservatory remains in lockdown. Keep the roads clear during the curfew and block off side street access. Maintain the wall of light is the responsibility of everyone in the squad, and I expect the windmills that power the damn thing to be well guarded all the time. Any irregularities that occur, contact the technical officer immediately. Okay, let's go and buy that rune from the black market. It was somewhere over here, wasn't it?
Today's your lucky day, madam. It's the day you get to meet Pirate Betty in person. Time to pay the price if you want to live.
Oh no, please! I have nothing. I'm just a poor maid.
I see you've heard the stories of
Go.
fish in the trap.
We won't go anywhere.
She's dead.
Was that another trap for me? Or were they really attacking someone?
I thought I heard blood flies for a second.
Yeah, I think it is another trap, actually.
Today's your lucky day, madam. It's the day you get to meet Pirate Betty in person. Time to pay the price if you want to live.
Oh no, please! I have nothing.
Wait, look!
Over here.
I think her head is worth a fortune.
They have some kind of a special grenade. I can just dispatch them with the sleep dart because there is a shop right next door. In fact, I can dispatch anyone I well damn like with a sleep dart because of that, which might include the guards on like the upper floor.
Today's your lucky day, madam. It's the day you get to meet Pirate Betty in person. Time to pay the price if you want to live.
Oh no, please! I have nothing. I'm just a poor maid.
I see you've heard the stories about Pirate Betty, about all the terrible things I've done to the fools who refuse to give up some trinket or a bag of coins.
Have mercy!
I think I've
What's going on here?
Was that two? Yeah, they're all howlers. So I guess it was a trick for whoever wanted to help that person. Okay, this is the beginning area. Yeah, and this is the shop, I imagine. I'm just going to buy it. I don't need to steal it.
Welcome, welcome. Have you heard? I'm told they robbed one of our shops. I'd like to see them try it here. Welcome to my shop. Say, an acquaintance of mine is supposed to be holed up in an office overlooking the Royal Conservatory. Check on them if you're headed that way. I'd check myself, but the streets are locked down. I'd make it worth your time.
I'll think about it.
See anything you like?
Search for the associates.
Welcome
Left
back.
no location.
Please,
no location.
take your time. I'm certain you will be satisfied with your purchase.
The shopkeeper's cousin once attended a lecture in a building directly across the Royal Conservatory. Now infested with bloodflies, he knows the combination to the safe there. Okay.
An excellent choice. Let's see. I have some upgrade plans for your gear. Bloodflies are worse here than any district in Kanaka. And it used to be such a prosperous district, too.
Sell bolts that stun and blind enemies for a time. Okay.
No need to wrap it for you, I suppose.
I might dispatch them in hand to hand after that. Which is an alternative to the sleep dart.
Ah, you want blueprints for better weaponry.
I don't care about those. Conservatory closure extended. A representative from the Royal Conservatory confirmed today that the site's closure has been extended once again, with no promise of when it might reopen. Curator Brenna Ashworth could not be reached for a comment. Readers will remember that the infestation of mites in the Roseboro exhibit forced the closure near 6 months ago, though there have been rumors that no exterminators have been hired. The Roseboro exhibit was to be a prestigious event, sponsored by the Academy of Natural Philosophy, which hopes of attracting numerous experts and guest lecturers from across the Isles. This important exhibition is now on hold indefinitely due to the extended closure. For hopeful visitors, there is nothing to do but wait for further word.
U and V, double V, X, Y's and Z. Now I got my A's and Z's. Tell me what you think of me.
Okay. This is the thingamajig, the wind turbine for the Wall of Light. I'll try disabling it because there's no one close, so even if it like explodes or something, I don't think it should hurt anyone. Nope, it just shuts down without any problem. Is that the Overseers? One of the Overseers is supposed to be talkative, but I'm not sure if it is this one. Although maybe they are not talkative at all, and I'm just supposed to poach their notes about whatever they know about Brianna. Note to the Overseer. Overseer Ogburn, I should be back within a few days. Continued to compile information on Brianna Ashworth's activities, despite the odd letter we received from the Oracular Sisters in Culero. It's not like them to issue a proclamation without certainty, but I know I'm right about Ashworth. My gut tells me she's a threat. That said, the Howlers are my priority. The conflict with Paolo could affect our influence in Karnaca for years to come. Yours in the strictures, Vice Overseer Liam Byrne. Okay, so this is the door I couldn't open before. Royal Conservatory. This is the map. I will knock him out, because I don't think this is even the guy. It's some underling of the Vice Overseer. Oracular Order divided. I read that already.
curator of the Royal Conservatory. For a while, I believed Ashworth has some connection to the occult in Karnaca. Something is happening that I don't understand. The Overseers are the forward face of the Abbey, but equally important are our sisters from the Oracular Order. To be direct, I suspect something is wrong within their sect. Subtle changes to the types of proclamations they've been making. Small but troubling deviations from tradition. But publicly saying anything along those lines will get me accused of heresy by my rivals within the Abbey. Is it possible that Ashworth has infiltrated the Oracular Order?
So Vice Overseer Byrne thinks Ashworth is interfering with the Oracular Order. If true, it's another reason she has to be eliminated.
On the Oracular Order, much has been said about the blind sisters of the Oracular Order. In truth, their eyes function just as well as yours or mine, however they endeavor to become blind to distractions and frivolities. They will, if necessity bids them, walk among us, wearing richly hued blindfolds, or otherwise covering their eyes. In this way they remain at all times ready to see things clearly. Decisions are made during the cloistered gatherings. Though no others are permitted to observe, the process was described to me, so I render it here with permission. A room is prepared with heavy incense and blessings from the strictures. In a circle sit 30 or more sisters of our order, until the room is brimming. We will hear no topic, lest we have each had adequate time to research. Several outcomes will be discussed, and some sisters are specifically tasked with advancing the less popular or unlikely scenarios. It is not permitted to remain silent. Every voice must be heard. It might take some time to arrive at a decision, but by then all are quite versed in the myriad of consequences and may have lengthy advice for all contingencies. When an opinion is written, it may be as short as a sentence or fill 20 pages, yet still, one last sister must approve it, the High Oracle herself. Okay, curiously enough, there isn't anything in this room, seemingly, as far as occult artifacts go. Which is surprising. You'd think if anyone would have them, it would be the Overseers. I guess they are all past the Wall of Light. Did they see me? Not sure, but if they did, so be it. Swimming is slightly faster. No, thank you. More woes afflict Dust District residents. The situation inside the Batista District continues to deteriorate at a rapid pace. Not long ago, the area prospered under the watchful eyes of the mining operations owner Aramir Stilton, but the well-liked workers' advocate has disappeared 3 years ago under suspicious circumstances, and since then the entire district has been afflicted by increasingly foul air and gang violence. A functionary from the Grand Serkonan Guard admitted that the group has essentially abandoned the area. It's simply too dangerous, he said of the crime inside what is now commonly called the Dust District. The overseers and those damned howlers fight for the control in the streets, with skirmishes every day, assassinations, torture and so forth. After a while we just decided to withdraw and let the two have it, sealed it up behind a wall, behind a few well-placed walls of light. Is there a bloodfly nest? Nope, that's just a regular guy. But I will knock him out because he might call the guards. Howlers don't play. We know. You want to know what happened to the owner before you? When he says no more payouts and that's that, we say alright, you've got us, and left him alone. Then we paid one of his friends to take him fishing a week later. They were out on the water all day, real good day, caught a lot of fish. Coming back, his friend gave him a letter from us and ran off. In it, I spelled out how the bait they was using all day was bits of his mother. Howlers don't play, you piece of shit. You've got 3 days. Blue Joe Jake. Duke Abel's capital city. What? That's a ridiculously bad speech to give. He essentially admitted he doesn't care for the lives of his own people in Serkonos, because he said, I don't care how many of you do I have to sacrifice? So, what? What kind of person? You know, I know he's a dictator, but that's just stupid to say. To what is essentially potentially your strongest supporters in your home base.
You look great. Enrico said to give you his regards.
That donkey-faced cretin can open his wrist for all I care. Did you bring me something? The silver cigarette case, like we agreed?
No, listen. I can't go on doing this, stealing for you. I'll lose my job.
Do you want to be a servant all your life? You're always talking about leaving Karnaca on a big white boat, never to come back. You spend your days polishing silver cutlery. Come with me, Beatrix. Let's leave.
Could we really get passage on a ship? What if they find us?
You know I'll protect you, just like when we were kids.
I'll think about it. I promise.
Huh?
The Royal Conservatory. What do those walls hide?
Okay, where is she?
Help me! Someone! Anyone! Help!
What? How did that happen?
Intruder! Come back here! Right there. You won't get away! He's running.
Let's see how you handle yourself. Hey, you! Come here! Stop!
Let me show you how I got my stripes.
Long.
All right, John. Not going anywhere. I'll be wiping off.
Okay, this wouldn't have worked. That was like 8 of them. But why didn't they? I had them both marked. Why didn't they both drop at the same time? Like, you can even see it here.
I promise.
How?
Damn! What's going on here? All right, Chopper.
The Royal Conservatory. What do those walls hide?
I'm not in the mood. Show yourself. I don't want to die.
I don't like that. Better have a look.
I wonder who that was.
What's going on?
Let's go!
Later, I'll be laughing over rum about...
Okay. That doesn't solve my initial problem, nor does it explain how did the civilian even get away in the first place. But I think I might save over this. You know, treat it as a natural consequence of my own stupidity. Okay, this is a condemned building, which I will explore. I will explore everything I can, in fact, as I always try to do.
Some of you have questioned the stricter mining interests and the new taxes being levied by the Grand Circonian Guard. Let me answer all of this. Disloyalty and sedition will not be tolerated.
Whispers from the Void. I read that already. Oh, this is solidly trapped.
What?
Okay, it's a shrine to the outsider. Traditional Circonan songs. After sparrows 3 times call, after gold does 3 times fall. Come, my maiden mistress, mouse and hen, come fisher, farmer, frog and wren. Once a king dressed in red, warmed by flames on a feather bed, while all the towns starving cried, chilled by wind, the month of ice. Eat them of frost, if eats them of snow, the monarch decreed to them below. Upon a spike they perched his head, cursed his name, burned his stead. Hush a by, don't be afraid, Mama will think through all the night. Many an hour before morning sun, don't dream of horror yet to come. Okay, is someone dead? Because I have this nagging... Okay, no one is. Although I'm still not sure how my global non-lethal ratio is actually falling if I've only killed like 2 people in the entire game.
Look at you, making your way across this shuddering city. Brianna Ashworth would have been miserable as a member of high society, forced to wed some bloated banker. Her only moments of real freedom, getting drunk at fancy balls, and slipping away to couple with strangers. It would have ended in an unhappy marriage and a late-night plunge into an icy river. But just before Mother and Father married her off, so many years ago, she found Delilah instead. It was all highways and graveyards after that, never looking back. Vice Overseer Byrne is an ambitious man, but he believes in the Abbey's mission, protecting the good people of the Empire against the likes of us. You know he'd be happier deep down if this ended with Brianna Ashworth's head on a spike. Maybe yours as well.
Okay, and I will go here, but I will do it next time, because this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!